Hey everybody, Modern Day Nana here. Just came to bring you another Valentine craft. I've been going through my stash and just kind of seeing what I could put together for y'all. Now, this is kind of a compilation of a bunch of stuff that I just had. Oh, what was that? Oh, my little rose. Okay, so what we started out with here was just one of these little round wood signs from the Dollar Tree. And well, it was partially wood. This is original, this part, and this part's original. And this part, I had some writing on it, Happy Valentine's Day or something like that. And I just didn't want that on there. So I went through my scrapbook paper and found something I liked. And like I said, I was into the shabby chic for a long time. Well, I mean, I still am. I love it. So this is definitely kind of on that shabby chic. Kind of, I don't know if it would be considered cottage core also. I'll have to look into that more and kind of get to know my, what do you call them? Well, it wouldn't be themes, but wouldn't be genres because that's music, right? Styles, like the cottagecore and the dark academia and I mean some cool stuff. Still the shabby chic, right? So anyway, I digress. So we started out with that, and I just glued this on here with a glue stick. And then I wanted to kind of finish the edges between, so I just had some red rickrack, I think is what you call it. And so I just put that on there, and I thought that finished that out well. Then what I did with the outsides is I wanted to make, like something to finish off the outsides. And I didn't want it to be like, I've got all kinds of lace and stuff, but I thought, oh, that looks, I don't know, that looks kind of, I just didn't want to do it for this. So I had some scrapbook paper that was just kind of striped, you can see. And so what I did with that was I just took and let me see, I did one somewhere for it. Oh, here it is. So I just took and tore my skirt, or cut my scrapbook paper. This was, I think this was like 8 by 10 sheets, and just cut it the design you want. I wanted my lines to go this way, and then I just did kind of a fan fold with it, and then took and just did them like this and glued them, laid it down and glued it onto the back. Okay, see what I'm saying? So just kind of laid it down and did that all the way around it. And then when I was done, see, the front looked like that. And then when I was done, I just took a piece of a big piece of scrapbook paper and just glued it onto the back with a glue stick. And then that kind of finished it off too. Now, after I got it done, I thought, oh, this is a little bit flimsy, and I wanted it to be a little more sturdy. I mean, I'm just keeping it, but still, you don't want it to tear up if you're going to put all this work into it. And I had some Mod Podge that I picked up in a thrift haul somewhere. And because this stuff's pretty expensive. Now, I mean, it's worth it. I mean, I think it's great if you want to purchase it. I always try to be really thrifty. So what I usually do is just get the Elmer's glue, or just even like the glue at the Dollar Tree. Or if you're doing a lot of projects, you could buy a big bottle of it and it would last you a while. That's what I would usually use, is just glue, just cheap glue. But what I did was I just took a sponge, like a sponge brush, and I just went around and then let it sit on something and let that dry. And then I flipped it over, and then I went ahead and did the back paper too, you know, just to protect it. And I did that, and I did that another time. So they both had two coats on it, but you know, I wanted it to be sturdy and, you know, not fall apart on me. So that's what I did with that. So then I had these pearls. This is the last bit. I've made quite a few things with it. This is the last bit of this strand. I'll have to get into my Christmas stuff because at one time I did a Victorian tree and, you know, did like garland or pearls around it. So I've got a bunch of these somewhere. And they've come in really handy on the Valentine's Day stuff. You know, I mean, it was, you know, pearls, romance. I don't know. Kind of worked for me. So then, okay, so we got that done. So then I took my book. Now you could use anything. I have had this book that I got at a thrift store. Don't even remember what the front cover looked like, if I had the front cover or if it came without a front cover, but I think I probably did. I might have made something out of it. But this whole book is chock full of these adorable different photos. And I found some pictures out of my book. So if you are out thrifting or at a yard sale or whatever, make sure you look at the books because you never know what you might happen across. And this set on at 25 cents, so got a lot of good use out of it. Okay, then I had just picked up some doilies. I'm sure they were probably half off, you know, or at least these maybe look like Walmart brand. But I've got a doily I'm using, a couple of doilies actually. Now this one was in a pack. Well, actually I think it was a part of a banner because the holes, there are holes on it. And I just took a piece of yarn that I had gotten a bunch of yarn at a thrift store that I thought matched pretty good. It's this really cute yarn with the, look how adorable that is, with the little loops. Anyway, so I just tied a little knot on it just to cover up the holes, and then I put this white doily on the back. Now, you can see this is kind of grungy. What I did here was I took and just tea stained it. I did this piece of paper to show you, but literally what I did, I got some old tea bags here and a little bit of tea in my The Modern Day Nana. Subscribe if you would. My daughter got that for me for a Christmas present. And you can do this a bunch of different ways with the tea stain. Now you can use ink if you want to, you know, give it that effect. But I have always got tea sitting around, and I usually leave my tea bags in. You can do it different ways. This is pretty old, and the tea bag's a little bit cloudy, but I'm going to give you at least the idea. This is kind of crumpled up, but I like that effect. Now, I dried this with the heat tool, but I was going to say, if you've got just an old blow dryer, that'll work too. You know, something you're not using, or I think this was a gift from the girls. It's got a couple settings. It's really nice if you're wanting to get something done in a jiffy. But really, all you do to tea stain something is just rub over it. And like I said, you can do this different ways. If you've got a bunch to do, see what I'm saying? But when it dries, you've got this really nice, you know, kind of grunged up, whatever. And actually I did it on a piece of fabric also. This was something I had in my stash, had used probably, and this was the last piece of it for another project. I don't know when, but I just stuck the tea bag on here and dabbed it around and made that look not so white, because, you know, sometimes your fabric looks just a little too pristine, and you know, you want it to look a little bit grungy, you want it to look a little bit old. So if that's the case, then if you got a tea bag, or you can do it with coffee, and we can get into that more probably as the weather warms up, because I really want to do some junk, you know, putting together journals and stuff with you. And I do a lot of tea staining when I do that. But you know, you can use any kind of tea. And then actually too, like a raspberry tea kind of gives you like a rosy colored, you know, a pink tint to your paper. Anyway, you know, I'm off the subject, but yeah, so that's what I did with those. Oh, I was going to show you too how I made those little hearts. Okay, so we got the tea staining. I've got just a little example here for you. Now, you know, my fabric, I like to rip my fabric so it gives it that nice frayed edge. And we talked about that in different videos, but let me just give you, this is part of an old, I think it was part of an old bed skirt, but look how pretty. Look how pretty that design is on there. That'll be great for something. Anyway, so you just start at the edge here. Let me show you. Okay, you take your scissors and decide how wide you want it, right? How wide you want your strip, and you just make a little snip in it and then start ripping. And I've showed that to you in a couple of different things, but see, then look how great that frayed edge is. I love that. So that's what we did here. And so we've got our little piece of fabric. I was messing around up here and my thing was too big. So trying to show you. Okay, so just take any acrylic paint, you know, whatever color of acrylic paint you want. And you know, obviously the finer the tip on whatever you use, the smaller your heart's going to end up being. This is kind of a medium size. I'm just going to dip my tip. Now, if you're a painter, you might have a stylus and you can use that. That's just basically to make little dots, right? But I'm going to take and make a dot. If you can see that or not. Make 2 dots right by each other, okay? And then just take and drag down from the dots. And if you need to, add a little more paint. And it's obviously not supposed to be perfect, but see that? See? So take your paint, make yourself a couple dots, right? And this is just, you know, this is just play. Nothing that we're trying to make any kind of real. But see how cute those end up being? Yeah. Okay. So that's just, you know, that's just what I had there. And like I said, I found this in my stash of stuff. So I went ahead and dunked it in some tea because it was too bright. Okay, so let's get our stuff together here. Oh, this stuff, I'm using some of this because, you know, you want to layer, I mean, I do anyway. I want to layer and kind of texturize my piece, and I think all those neat little things add to it and make it, you know, add interest. This stuff I got, and I love it. I got at the Dollar Tree. And they had this color, and I think a green color, and maybe kind of a rusty color. So if you see this, and it was a pretty good, I've used quite a bit of it. It was a pretty good little spool. Now, I like to do a lot of kind of nature stuff and woodland stuff, and this, you know, is a great texture for that, but really for anything. So we're going to use a little bit of that. And, oh, I'm going to use just a little bit of my velvet ribbon that I used for Christmas. I got this in a thrift haul, and I'm so sad that this is it. That's all I have left. It came on one of those, like, you know, big spools, but it's this really sweet, nice, it's got fuzzy on it, velvet ribbon. So we're going to use a little piece of that. What I'm thinking on my page, well, it could be a page, on my project, before I start gluing down. So I've got this adorable fan that I cut out of the book. I am a little warm. And it's got these adorable little cherubs on it. So I liked that. So I'm going to lay that down. And then let's see. Let me see if I can put this under here. I got to find a way to tilt it up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to put our fan on. And then I had just one of these, you know, little doily hearts, just kind of to add texture and pull things together. I kind of like things to touch a little bit, you know, so they're not like kind of free floating out on the page. So, and overlap a little bit. So we've got, you know, maybe and we can play with it. What do we like? What are we thinking? Do we like the heart like that? Or do we like that? I don't know. Let's play with it a little bit more. Okay, now we've got our pieces of little kind of netting ribbon type stuff. I was going to put down here, and I had these from another project. I didn't use them, so I'm just going to double up because, you know, waste not, want not, right? So we'll lay those down, and then look how adorable she is. I'm not sure what that little dude's doing on her shoulder. Anyway, okay, so let's put her there. This little, looks like this little, oh, maybe it's a little boy. Maybe it's her son. I don't know. First I thought it was a leprechaun, but I think it might be her son dressed up, giving her a heart. That's so cute. So we can tie that in and put this down here. And then I had this little heart. This was all cut out of that book. But what I was thinking was, let's take a little piece of our netting stuff, and I don't know, do we like that? Or do we like, oh, I think I like the fabric behind, and just kind of make, you know, just like a little, not sure what you call it, and kind of put that up there to tie that in. Oh, that's cute. Oh, and then I was thinking the red velvet ribbon, I just tied like a little bow, like you'd, you know, tie your shoe. Oh, I was thinking of putting that on the bottom of the fan, but now that overlaps if we do that like that. Okay. I like that arrangement. I'm not sure about this though. I feel like maybe I want to see this part of the fan, the center of the fan, so I can put the bow on there. Okay, well, any way you look at it, I think the fan's going to have to go down first. So let's go ahead and situate our fan, and then we'll decide, okay? And this will just take a second. Now we could, I don't know, we could just use glue stick. The only thing about the glue gun is when you start using the glue gun on paper, if you're not careful, it can get lumpy. I mean, you can get, you know, because the glue comes out in little beads. I mean, I don't care if it's lumpy, but, you know, we don't need to do that, I guess, if that's not necessary. Yeah, so, I worked last night and came out this morning to come home, and it was a pure sheet of ice. I live about 25 miles from work. So I was like, okay, we will see how this goes, because I mean, you know, what are you going to do? You got to get home. So, okay, let me stick this down. And the nice thing again, I said before in another video, but the nice thing again is that, and see, that's going to have to go over that rick-a-rack, but that's fine. You know, I mean, texture, 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 right? Not a problem. Okay, so I feel like, you know, I feel like this could be up a little bit. I feel like this could be up a little bit higher. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. And then did I put this? Did we want this under? Let's see. Do we want this under? I think I like that better. I think I like it better so we can see the center of our fan. So, yep, I'm just going to stick a little glue on here. You got to be careful with these. You know, these little tissuey hearts, these little doily hearts. Let's stick this under the fan a little bit, okay? We can stick it down better later too if we, you know, we feel like it's sticking up. Okay, let's put a little glue on the back of our little Be Mine heart and stick her down. Anyway, so, and I think, yeah, I think I like that there. So it all, kind of all overlaps, but you can still see everything. Like I said, we can stick some glue down. You know, we can put more glue down later. Let's go ahead and, boy, I'm not sure how to do this, you guys. Now this is nice. This is this Elmer's glue stick, and I think I've told you in videos before. I bought the Dollar Tree ones. You know, a lot of times things don't matter. Generic things don't matter, but these most definitely. And it's just, I think Elmer's in general. I mean, you know, hey, they're in the business of glue, right? So they work so much better than the Dollar Tree ones. You know, so it's kind of like if you're using twice as much of the Dollar Tree, are you really saving money? No, you're not. So let me see. I'll just do this on this book and just kind of put some on the back of this, right? Just stick some glue on the back of that and stick her down. And I can tack this later too if I feel like it's not staying down. We can put a little I always put a little hot glue on it, right? And I'm just going to overlap that where it was too long, and I think I'm also going to overlap it just a little bit where it comes just out on the sides a little bit, just a little bit over the pearls. Okay, anyway, so okay, we'll take our little things we cut out of our book and stick these down good. So yeah, I started out and I kind of come on a side highway into, basically from out in the country, really, where I work, because it's really a rural area, into town, and then I get on the actual like interstate highway and bring it the rest of the way home. You can go the back way, but you know that, I mean, some people love to go the back way, and that's great. Generally, first of all, I just want to get home. I'm stick this up just a little bit. I feel like it's a little too low. Like she's not getting her full, our little queen here is not getting her full attention. This is all like popping up all over the place, but we'll get it stuck down. Let's just get it in place, and then we can work with it. Okay, so I'm going to take, we decided to put the fabric down, and then this little piece of meshy stuff, and then our heart on top of it, right? So let's put a little glue on our heart, and then that might do it for the whole thing. And then let's put a little glue on the back of our fabric, and we'll stick it down. And I just wanted to stick it down on the kind of on the corner of this Be Mine. And I got glue on my fingers, so it's popping up. Everything's kind of popping up, but it's going to be fine, guys. Really, it's going to be fine. That is looking so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? We are definitely going to need some hot glue for our little, make sure we're putting it on the right side, for our little velvet bow that we're putting on kind of where you would hold your fan at, hold your little fancy fan. And then what else did we have? Oh. And this was going to hold down, I felt like this would kind of hold this down. Okay, I'm going to do a dab. I'm going to go ahead and do a dab of hot glue here, guys. So anyway, I thought, okay, I mean, it was a sheet of ice. And this is really the first time this year I've encountered that. Definitely had a couple times coming home or going where it was like a blizzard, just, you know, absolute blizzard where you couldn't see, or the roads were super duper bad and you couldn't see the lines on the road. But today was a sheet of ice. So I got down to the main highway and got off on the ramp and headed onto the highway, and I thought, oh crap. It was super slick. I mean, super slick. So I thought, okay, all right. So now the highway goes, and then you got to veer off when you get to the next town and go to the left to head to my town, which is about another 10 miles from there. It was bad, that little stretch between on that interstate, that middle interstate, I-55. It was bad, and I just took it slow and, you know, tried to just be super cautious. There were some vehicles off in the ditch, and I thought, oh boy, you know, people flying by me, which, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not a crazy kind of speed driver myself when it's not a, you know, ice rink. So, anyway, I thought, oh Lord, okay. So then, you know, I was kind of counting 4 or 5 vehicles off in the ditch. I'm like, okay, all right. Then I, like I said, veered to the left to go the last 10 miles. And oh my, you guys, it was like the demolition derby. I mean, I was just like, what is happening? I literally lost track of how many cars, trucks, you know, like trucks that are supposed to be able to handle stuff. Well, you know, nothing handles ice, right? I mean, I guess if you put chains on your tires, maybe, you know, that would grip it. I don't know. I mean, we're not in Alaska here, right? So anyway, hooty. So there was wrecks on the interstate. We got down to 1 lane. I mean, which I was crawling anyway. I mean, I was not, going fast. People still flying by me on the left-hand side, which, hey, you do you, right? You do you. So, oh yeah, cars are off. Now we're cornfields out here, right? We're cornfields, we're bean fields. Cars out, one car out in the field. So it was really traveling. Um, Off to the right in the field, cars off to the left, trucks off, wreck in the interstate. Traffic got down to, like I said, the one lane, semi off in the median on its side. I was like, okay. I mean, I really wasn't white knuckling it. I mean, I was pretty calm about it, but, trying to kind of keep my distance a little bit from the vehicles in front of me, as much as you can. And, anyway, I made it and made it in one piece, but, oh yeah, fire trucks were out. I didn't see any ambulances, but the police were out, and it looked like the demolition derby. And I'm old enough too, which I don't know if they even still have them, but in our hometown, from Missouri, so we were kind of country folk anyway, we actually used to have a demolition derby. I remember going, and it was a lot of fun, but that's what it looked like. Anyway, whoo! So I'm off next couple nights, and I'm just, here at home, loving it. Okay. Adorable. How cute is that? Okay, now, so what should I do with this? Cut it, round it. Should I round it off? Or just cut it straight up and down? Okay, I shouldn't have glued it all the way to the end. Oh, there's a cute little heart. See, we can save that little heart for something else. It wouldn't hurt for it to go over the side just a little. I kind of like that, when things kind of hang over a little bit. Oh, that's so cute. I hate that I always hate when you cover things up. I feel like I could have brought that down a little bit more, but, I'm not going to mess with it now. I used hot glue on it. Anyway, and like I said, it's a little lumpy where I had to go over the, rickrack. And I guess I could have not put that on there and waited. Because obviously you didn't need all of that because you're not seeing it. But that is so cute. Now, when I put the paper on, went ahead and poked a hole in it so we'd know where our thing is at. Now, I thought about, what I thought about this. Well, first of all, I found this ribbon that was just some random ribbon I had. Well, I wanted to find this and I couldn't find it. But then I found it. So, well, hey, maybe that's our answer because I just dropped that one on the ground. I don't know. Do we want the fancy and let me get it. Okay. Do we want the fancy, kind of satiny, and the more rustic together? Or do we want just the rustic? Sometimes more is just more and sometimes more is better, right? You got to use your judgment on that. Now, here's the situation though. We got to get this ribbon through this little hole. I'm just going to wrap it up. Now, if you couldn't get it through here, oh, you can't see. If you couldn't get it through here, you could always put a piece of tape on the end, you know what I mean? But we made it. We made it, we made it, we made it. Okay, now what do we want to do with this? Because we need to be able to hang up our pretty. And so do we want to put a bow on it? You can't really tie it here, you know what I mean? Because you're going to mess up your trim around the outside. Maybe if we did, I'm going to make it plenty long because I don't want it to be too short. Oh, look. It's the end of both. Let's just make it that long. Let's just do that. Let's just divide it up so it's the same, roughly the same length at the end, okay? All right, so let's take this and I can always cut it off, right? I can always cut off the ends. There are some times when it's better to have a little too much than not enough, because you're not sure where you're going to hang it at yet, first of all. I think that's probably a little too much. And then we could actually make a nice bow on it. So let's do that, okay? You think that's about good? So let's take, okay, so we want to take both of our pieces, okay, or I do, and I want to stick them together. So, and this is just like I said, tying your shoe, okay? So let's put our pieces together so that when we tie it, it's not so hard to then kind of straighten it out, right? See, that's going to be twisted. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it's going to come out. It's going to come out and make a decent bow. And, you know, this is all kind of messy, right? This is all kind of a, oh, hold on. You know, I kind of feel like that's backward, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be all right. And you can mess with it and fluff and fool around with it. But then you've got a nice hanger. Okay. Yeah, my bow needs a little messing. But you can do that. You can do that when you get it, you know, where you want it too. One side's a little longer than the other, but I like it. I like it a lot. So there we go. And like I said, the one side's a little longer than the other. We might want to trim that down. Let's go ahead, you know, and give it a little, let's give it a little trimmy. A little trimmy. And these don't have to, you know, these don't have to be even or any craziness like that. We're not trying to make stuff even, but that, if I do say so myself, is adorable. So, like I said, just junk I had. You know, a few, the thing was a $1.25 Dollar Tree thing. Pretty much everything else, well, I had that too, but I mean, it was just junk I had. So, but I think that is a precious, precious Valentine. All right, guys, I have kept you as long as you need to be kept. I'm going to figure out a place to hang this and put it up and enjoy my beautiful little crafting here, okay? So I will talk to you soon, okay? It's a Modern Day Nana. See you later. Bye.